Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in today's episode we are talking mulled wine. This is like an Afro fusion kind of drink. So where you take Zobo and you infuse it into wine, or you take the Zobo flavors and infuse it into mulled wine or mulled wine. Anyway, let's get started. Well, the first time I made this recipe was in 2020, and ever since then it's been one of my most requested drinks every Christmas. It is usually served hot or warm, but I personally prefer to serve this cold because of course there's Zobo in it, so why not serve it cold or chilled? Anyway, let's make it. Now to make this you need 2 bottles of red wine. It doesn't I would say that it shouldn't matter what type of red wine you use. However, the original recipe calls for Shiraz or Mellow. However, I found that in recent times, or in making this recipe over and over again, you can use any cheap bottle of red wine that you find. It doesn't matter if it is sweet or just regular red wine. It doesn't really matter what bottle of red wine you use. Just get 2 bottles and let's make this. So here's something important that you need to do every time you want to drink a bottle of wine. Just open it up and allow it to breathe at room temperature for at least 30 minutes. Anyway, moving along, you would need hibiscus leaves and some sweetener. I highly recommend that you use sugar. However, if you're looking for a low carb version of this, you can use maple syrup or honey. Moving along, you would need some spices such as cinnamon sticks. You can also use cinnamon powder as well. You need cloves for that spicy notes that it would give this wine. After all, it's mulled wine, so we're infusing spices and flavor into the wine. Another thing that you need, or another spice you need, is nutmeg. You need that nutty feel that nutmeg brings to this recipe. And finally, you need Star Anise. Star Anise brings a floral feel and a floral taste to this. It has a standout flavor that it actually gives this drink. So you need Star Anise. Now let's go. Another thing that you need are some citrus. I'm doing a combination of clementines and oranges, but you can do either of both. They work perfectly. The reason why I'm using clementines is that they have more juice in them and they're more sweeter. And you need some lemon for that zesty, just to balance out the flavors really. So yeah, that's it. So you need 3 of them. Now let's prep and get this mulled wine on the road. If you are wary that the lemon will be bitter, because I've had people say, oh, I tried it and lemon was so bitter, whatever, here's what you can do. Take out the back. So this is just a visual representation of what you can do. However, I like to use the entire lemon, back and everything. I like to use all of that. Something else that I would advise is that you take out the seeds from the lemon, because of course the seeds can actually make it bitter and all. So take out the seeds from the lemon or whatever. Anyway, moving along, the clementines, of course everybody knows that you can eat the back or the skin of clementine, so that's not even an option. Cut that skin, cut it. Now if you find any seed in your clementine, which is rarely, you can take that out as well. Next up are of course oranges. Again, I am doing skin on. The reason why I'm doing skin on is I actually do want that that oil, that fragrance that the skin has. Have you ever squeezed after peeling orange, have you ever squeezed it, like you just see like a spray or something in the air? That's what I want. That essential oil is what I want infused into this wine. That's what we're looking to get. After all, we're mulling it. We are trying to elevate the flavor of that bottle. I wanted to say boring bottle of red wine, but let's not call it boring. Anyway, once you've sliced that up, go ahead and set that aside. Now into a clean pot, add your Zobo. Of course, it's been washed. So my Zobo has been washed. So what I typically do is when I buy Zobo in the market, I wash it and then I dry it again. Yeah, I wash and then dry it. Anyway, add your Zobo into your pot. Please make sure that you wash your Zobo. Add the Zobo into the pot, and next up add of course turn on the fire. Next up add the orange and clementines that you cut earlier, and then follow this up by adding the lemon that you cut as well. I've made mulled wine for so many years, and I can tell you that I have mastered the techniques. So even if I have a lemon seed in here, even if I have the back of lemon here, the key is to balance the sweetness with sweetener. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you taste it as you're cooking and you find out, oh, it's bitter, is this one, my dear, balance it with sweetener. Add more sweetener until you get that, you know, but we're not looking for it to be overly sweet. We just want it to be sweet. So it just feels like you're drinking sweet wine, but then it's been infused with spices, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, nutmeg. You know, that's what that's what we're trying to get here. Anyway, add some sugar, stir all of that to combine. And while you're doing this, don't forget that, you know, it's already cooking. So what we're trying to do is to get that zobo, you know, we just want to sort of caramelize, or should I say turn this into a syrup. So notice that while I'm stirring it, I'm sort of trying to mash up, you know, and get out some of the juice from the orange. You know, I want the flavors, the essential oil, the juice, everything to just start, you know, rendering immediately. There's no time to waste, time no day. Anyway, so continue to stir that, turn it, you know, just to get, you know, all of this, you know, cooking. And I wanted to say mellowing. What is wrong with me today? So continue to stir it and, you know, allow that to cook on low heat. Now, one of the things that I want to say is that throughout this entire process, this is the only time that I will be using, let me not say high heat, not high heat as much, but this is the only time that, you know, this pot will, you know, boil. I don't know if you can see, you know, the liquid beneath it. And we also know that as soon as sugar melts, it turns to liquid. I don't know if anyone has made caramel in the house. So once sugar gets hot, it turns to liquid. So once the sugar melts, you know, dissolves and, you know, mixes in with the orange and the lemon juice that we have in here, it's turned to liquid. You know, everything is just mixing well. Now notice that I haven't even added that red wine, and that bright purple or red color is just in your face. This is what we're looking for. And at this point, of course, if you notice, my pot is simmering. Your house should be smelling so good, so amazing. See how it is boiling. Like I said, this is the only stage and the only time that this pot should boil, because what we're trying to do is to get those oranges to start cooking down before we start adding the spices. Now in there, I add my cloves, I add my cinnamon, I add my nutmeg, and I continue to cook this. Now the Star Anise will come in later. We want that floral feel of the Star Anise, you know, to be one of the high profiles. So we're not looking to cook it as, you know, as long as the other spices. I don't know if that makes sense, or if you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, you have an opportunity to send me any questions in the comment section, or, you know, ask me anything or whatever. Now, moving along, I need you to take 1 bottle of the red wine that you have, open it up and pour it into that pot. And once you pour it into the pot, turn down the heat and allow this to simmer on low heat. So what we're doing now is we are trying to sort of submerge the oranges, the lemon, everything. I want this wine to really infuse and draw flavor from the orange, from the spices, everything. So we're just sort of you know, still stirring it and moving it around, and, you know, just allowing everything to just marry and mix well in the pots. In cooking this wine, we're not trying to, you know, completely take away the alcohol in the wine. We are also what we're just typically just trying to do is just to just up the flavor of the wine. That's all. We're not trying to cook out the alcohol or anything. Now the next thing that I need you to do is turn down the heat of the pot. Notice how it's simmering, it's not boiling over or whatever. Then take the second bottle of wine. Allow that to cook for about at least 10 to 15 minutes before adding the second bottle of wine. What you need to add is just half of that. So once you add the second half bottle, just allow that to continue to cook for another 5 to 10 minutes, typically. I mean, how do you know this is done? You know that this is done when it's almost like you're making candied oranges, when it's the orange skin, you can actually literally eat it, Anyway, so once it's 10 minutes mark, add your Star Anise. Like I said, we're not looking to cook the Star Anise for such a long time. We want the flavor of the Star Anise to be one of the high notes that you get when you drink this. So it's going to leave you with a floral, I don't want to use the word strange, but for lack of better word, strange feel or notes on your palate. Anyway, continue to cook this on low heat for another 5 to 10 minutes. Then add the rest of the half bottle of wine that is left. And once you've added that, allow this to simmer for about 5 minutes more, and that's it. Your mulled wine is ready. See, if you serve this thing to anybody, this Christmas and they don't like it, hey God, I beg, I will give you the money that you spent for this mulled wine. If you serve this mulled wine to anybody this Christmas, and they don't like it, I will give you back your money. Money back guaranteed. I'm telling you, money back guaranteed. This Zobo mulled wine, there is no one that I have served it to that does not like it. Anyway, turn off the heat, set it down, and allow it to cool completely before extracting the liquid from the hibiscus leaves and whatever. Anyway, personally, I like to serve my mulled wine in this cocktail bowl that my mom got me for my birthday. I use this to make shakara. I use to make yanga. Anyway, look how beautiful it looks. It has a hanger, it has cups, and it also has a spoon that you can use to take your drink, or you can use to serve your drink. As in, who am I not to show you guys this? If you follow me on Instagram, I have shared examples of places that you can get this sort of cocktail bowl there. So go check it out, or slide into my DM and I can send you a referral. Anyway, to serve, I typically, oh my god, this thing looks like it's so thick and red like blood. That's what we're looking for. This thing gets you as high as a sangria. If you think I am joking, go and make this. It as in, you think that because you have cooked it down, the alcohol that's up, and lie, never. Anyway, so what I typically like to do is to add some fresh slices of oranges, and also that stand, like I said, we want that Star Anise flavor to be like a high note or a top note for you when you drink this. So this is typically how I serve it, with fresh slices of oranges, clementines, and a few drops of Star Anise. Now to serve, I typically take a glass, and serve myself with the spoon. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you give this recipe a try. If you have any questions, and if you make this and you liked it, please leave me a comment in the comment section. And until next time, I love you munchos. I hope that this makes it to your holiday table this holiday season. Enjoy!